Youta Narukami encounters a young girl in a veil who introduces herself as Odin. Both he and his friend Ashura Kako doubt her and reject her claims. Youta discovers her true identity as Hina Satou while trying to persuade her to return home. Despite his efforts, Hina declines and accompanies him to the library to study with his childhood friend Kyoko Izanami. However, they eventually get kicked out. Youta begins to reluctantly believe in her abilities after they share a meal at a ramen shop during which Hina accurately predicts the outcome of a horse race. Subsequently, Hina offers to use her talents to help Youta win over Kyoko. This leads to a baseball game against the high school team, in which Youta fails in front of Kyoko. Following this, Yoda's mother warmly invites Hina to stay at their home, much to Yoda's astonishment. Youta and Hina reach Yoda's house, where Hina is warmly received. Inside Yoda's room, Hina engages in playing a video game. The following day, Youta discloses that Kyoko withdrew after her mother's passing and reveals the length of time he's harbored feelings for her. Youta agrees to take part in Sora's movie, prompting Hina to take on the task of scripting it with the aim of winning Kyoko's heart. Unfortunately, this strategy doesn't succeed. Hina later unveils Kyoko's aspiration to become a music director and offers her assistance in composing a song. Yoda's attempt to play the song for Kyoko proves challenging, ultimately leading her to perform it herself. That evening, Sora, bearing bruises, is brought to the house by her upperclassmen. The following morning, Sora wakes up and discloses that her senpai, Hikari Jin-yuji, is employed at her mother's struggling ramen shop, where she was assisting Hikari in dealing with a loan shark. In response, Hina decides to intervene by having Youta pose as Sora's uncle, allowing him to act as a business consultant. Youta implements significant changes at the shop, leading to its remarkable success. Meanwhile, in Japan, an enigmatic boy arrives and utilizes his hacking skills to aid a mother in finding her missing daughter. Back at the shop, Hikari confronts the loan shark, but with Yoda's assistance and Hina's support, they manage to defeat him. Subsequently, Hikari reveals that she had already figured out Yoda's true identity and expresses her gratitude to him, Hina, and Sora for their help. Later, the enigmatic boy, whose name is Hiroto Suzuki, is working for a company to uncover the hidden secret of Shushiro Korajai, a physicist. Hiroto initiates his inquiry by arranging an interview between the CEO and Dr. Asama, who is the co-author of Shushiro Korajai's thesis. Meanwhile, Youta is tuned into a television interview, featuring Keiko Tengen, a renowned lawyer. Later, Hina secures victory in the online mahjong preliminaries using Yoda's name with the intention of ensuring Yoda's in-person meeting with Keiko at a mahjong tournament that she is organizing. 2 days later, Youta departs to participate in the Libertas Cup with Hina, Kyoko, and Ashura offering their support and cheers. In the tournament's waiting area, Youta encounters Keiko. As the match commences, Youta follows Hina's instructions, initially finding himself at the bottom of the rankings. However, as the game progresses, he stages a comeback by employing unconventional techniques, which impresses Keiko. Consequently, Youta emerges as the victorious player of the Libertas Cup. Following the match, Keiko makes advances towards Youta, but he declines her advances, much to her disappointment. When he confides in Hina about the incident, she expresses irritation at the missed opportunity. Kyoko attempts, without success, to persuade her father to visit her mother's grave. While at the library, Kyoko confides in Youta about her father's reckless behavior since her mother's passing. Hina decides to orchestrate a plan to coax Kyoko's father out of his house. When they reach the house, Youta finally succeeds by claiming that he needs assistance in selecting a birthday gift for Kyoko. During their outing, they dine at a few restaurants. Subsequently, Kyoko's father discloses the existence of video messages left by his wife and implores Youta and Hina not to mention them to Kyoko. Hina later utilizes Yota's phone to impersonate Kyoko's mother. During the conversation between Hina and Kyoko, the video messages are mentioned, prompting Kyoko to hastily return home. There, she and her father watch the messages together. In the final message, Kyoko's mother employs her powerful magic spell to ensure their happiness and moving forward with their lives, a decision they both accept. That night, Kyoko comes to Yota's house to express her gratitude. However, Youta refrains from confessing his feelings, much to Hina's frustration. Youta envisions himself and Ashura competing in a high school basketball match in a dream. Later, Hina persuades Youta to call and invite his friends to a summer festival. At the festival, they engage in a variety of amusements, such as goldfish scooping, shooting galleries, ball toss games, and a haunted house. During this time, Ashura and Youta fondly reflect on their enduring friendship. Meanwhile, Hina appears to be envious of the deepening bond between Youta and Kyoko. She walks away and enters a refrigerated truck, which unexpectedly closes and drives off. The group realizes that Hina is missing and launches a search for her. When Youta and Ashura discover Hina's belongings on the ground, they gather information from another truck driver regarding the truck's direction. They embark on a chase using Ashura's motorcycle and eventually manage to get the driver to halt. Upon their reunion, they watch the fireworks display together. In his room, Youta is engrossed in his studies when Hina enters, proclaiming that the world will come to an end in 9 days and that Sora has completed her movie script. Intrigued, Youta reads the script and finds it quite enjoyable. This prompts him to rally his friends together for the filming. After Sora wraps up the storyboard, she provides an explanation of the movie's plot. When the shooting day arrives, Youta and Hina take on the lead roles. Unfortunately, the movie encounters various challenges during production. During a break, Youta takes the opportunity to express his enjoyment of spending time with Hina and commends her for her assistance to everyone. The shoot continues but is marred by CGI issues until Hina eventually manages to resolve them. Later that evening, Youta playfully teases Hina about how much she relished the experience. Meanwhile, Hiroto continues his investigation and stumbles upon Koreji's demolished house. He discovers that the belongings have been sent to a recycling plant, and he rushes there, just in time to retrieve a picture featuring Hina. In a dream, Hina spends time with her grandfather. On the set, Youta ponders what the future holds once summer comes to an end. Concerned, he shares his thoughts with his parents who disclose a shocking revelation. Hina is actually their mentor's granddaughter and she was abandoned by her own father. Following a heart-to-heart conversation with Hina about her divine transformation, they decide to pay her father a visit. Upon reaching Hina's father's residence, Toshidoku and Izuzu Sato, her father and stepmother, are taken aback when they meet Hina in person. During a private conversation between Youta and Toshidoku, the truth emerges that Hina was born with a challenging condition, called Logos syndrome, which led Toshidoku to abandon her when he felt powerless to assist her. As Youta and Hina depart, Youta wrestles with the complexity of the situation, leaving him agitated. Later that night, Hiroto unexpectedly arrives at Toshidoku's house. While everyone is busy on the set, Hiroto discreetly observes Hina and Youta. He then opts to head home to continue his analysis. Back at his residence, Hiroto makes a startling revelation. In a dream, he uncovers that his abusive parents exploited his hacking skills for money laundering. The following day, Hiroto presents to the CEO his findings about the chip-sized quantum computer developed by Koreji. However, much to his frustration, she denies his request to examine it. Returning to his house, Hiroto employs his expertise to locate the computer. During his search, he recollects the tragic incident when his parents were murdered. Subsequently, Hiroto informs the CEO that the computer has been implanted in Hina's head, accounting for her incredible recovery and omniscience. Realizing that Hina is in peril, Hiroto issues a warning to her. Consequently, she informs everyone that their world is on the brink of ending. They are then approached by men in formal attire. Youta attempts to flee with Hina, but she willingly surrenders. Following Hina's departure, Youta makes an effort to carry on with his life. While he is at school, Hiroto, now posing as a new transfer student, encounters Youta and joins in hanging out with Youta and his friends. However, several months down the line, Hiroto, feeling frustrated, confronts Youta, expressing his disappointment that Youta didn't understand the reason behind their friendship. Just as Hiroto is about to depart, Youta catches up with him, realizing that Hiroto had been recreating the days he spent with Hina. In a surprising revelation, Hiroto discloses that Hina is still alive, and he knows her whereabouts. Later that night, he escorts Youta to the Yamada Sanatorium, providing him with a false identity as a research assistant valid for 2 weeks. Inside the sanatorium, Youta meets Shiba, a visiting researcher, who escorts him to see Hina. There, Shiba unveils the unsettling truth that Hina had undergone cranial surgery, and now harbors an extreme fear of men. Witnessing Hina's condition deeply unsettles Youta. At the Yamada Sanatorium, Youta observes Hina's daily routine and proceeds to document his report for the day. Upon returning to Hina's room, Youta shares the news that he's been granted an hour to spend with her. However, Hina rejects his company. During a private moment, Shiba advises Youta that he must make direct eye contact with Hina to earn her trust. Upon their next meeting, Shiba confides in Youta that Hina might have lost her memories following the surgery. Feeling disheartened, Youta finds solace in a moment of solitude outdoors, where he receives words of encouragement from his friends and family. This motivates him to bring a video game for Hina to play, though she encounters difficulties. While Shiba attends to Hina, she reveals that her career choice was influenced by the tragic loss of her daughter. Youta later decides to stay overnight, playing the game in an effort to assist Hina. However, when Shiba uncovers Yota's falsified reports, a security officer contacts him. While spending time with Hina, Shiba interrupts Youta and instructs him to depart. He pleads with her, requesting one last half-day with Hina. During their conversation, Hina manages to recognize and pronounce the names of Yota's family members. However, when he shows her his picture, she tosses it to the ground. Following this, Shiba informs Youta that his allotted time has come to an end. Just as he is about to leave, a tearful Hina attempts to move toward Youta, expressing her love for him. Youta takes Hina back home, and the entire group agrees to complete the movie project. Driven by a newfound determination, Youta decides to follow in Hina's grandfather's footsteps as a researcher with the goal of finding a cure for Hina's condition. Subsequently, they all watch the movie together. In a making-of interview at the end of the movie, Hina shares that her memories are exceptionally beautiful and will remain eternally treasured, regardless of the challenges they face. Youta resolves to stand by Hina's side, no matter the hardships they may encounter.
I hope you liked the recap. If so, don't forget to subscribe and like it.